What's going on, guys? Thanks for watching Keep Calm and Game On. In this episode, I'm trying out a game called Darkest Depths. Now, I have played this game a lot on my channel in the past. It has changed considerably since I last played. The reason for that is the developer kind of lost his hard drives because they got corrupted, and he had to basically start over from scratch. So this is what he's came up with so far. This is still very early on in the new kind of redevelopment of it. But yeah, I'm just going to play it, give some suggestions. It's kind of bare-boned at the moment, but it's just going to get better as time goes on. It is still in early access, so, still being developed. But, I've talked to the developer on Discord, give him a lot of feedback, and whenever I do these live streams, I like to just kind of play and give live streams, throw out ideas, things I would like to see in the game. And he takes the feedback into consideration. He doesn't always put those things in the game because, he has a vision. He's the creator of the game and, he knows what he wants to create. But I just like to give ideas, and whether they end up in the game or not a big deal. I will critique what I'm seeing. I will give feedback. I will say what I like, what I don't like. This is just my honest opinion. Again, this is an early access, still being developed. So, yeah, we're just going to hop in and play. And we'll see what happens. So when I first booted this up, my GPU was like running full tilt, like 100%. No other game that I've ever played has ran 100%. So he went into the settings, fixed some stuff. He capped the frame rate at 60, which seems to be helping the situation. Now it's running about, I think, 40%, which is still kind of high. But until he gets like a fix for that, it works. It's a lot better than it was. So I did notice that there is a lot of screen tearing. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but on my end, there's like some screen tearing kind of in the middle, and then sometimes it goes toward the bottom. But yeah, this is Darkest Depths. It's kind of like a roguelike first-person shooter, kind of randomly put together levels, that type of a game. Again, still in early access. Michael Smart, how's it going, man? Adzaloni, hey there, love the Tobey Maguire scream. Yeah, I thought you guys would like that thumbnail. But I am live streaming this, so if anybody happens to come across this after it's done broadcasting, I'm live streaming. So if you see me talking to people, it's because I'm talking to the chat. You might be able to see it in the sidebar there. I'm not sure. But yeah, we're just trying out this game. Again, very early on in development, because he kind of had to redo everything from scratch because his hard drives got corrupted and basically back to square one. But I got to say, I'm kind of liking the level design. I like that, levels feel big. It feels wide open. I like the textures, and all this will change. It will get better and whatnot. I will say lens flare, like just the brightness is like really bright. Like I know this is like some kind of obelisk, but brightness definitely needs to be turned down a little bit. But guys, remember to like this video. I will be playing some other stuff later on, but I kind of want to just make this a quick video, give some feedback. I like the way this looks. Kind of looks like a Stargate type of thing. You got your different weapons here. I think I just picked up this gun. So if I hold down the right mouse button, it shoots like this. And then with this gun, I have to kind of click it every time, which is kind of annoying. I mean, it's not a super big deal, but that's a lot of clicking to do. This gun, you can kind of just hold it down. There are no alternate fire modes for the weapons at the moment, at least the ones I've came across, but we're just going to walk through and see what we got here. So enemies are going to spawn. Again, brightness on some of the objects, like the shields they're holding, super, super, super bright, especially with like the sky being bright as well. And the fact that there's verticality, it just, it's just a lot. So definitely I would recommend turning down the brightness. Also, these little things right here. At first I thought they were just like body parts of the fallen enemies, but these are actually kind of like slug things that will hurt you if you walk into them. So they like explode, which I didn't realize at first because it wasn't really clear. There are some models that used to be in the older version of the game, except these ones don't really move. I mean, they kind of move, but they don't like charge you like they did in previous versions of the game. And again, this game is it's gonna be glitchy, still in early access, very on in development. But yeah, I kind of like. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the little slug things. Because it's kind of hard to tell that they're enemies. It just kind of feels like they're body parts. And at first, like, I couldn't really even tell. Maybe if you made them, like, smaller, and instead of, like, wiggling like this, if they, like, wiggled kind of like, I don't know, more like a snake instead of, like, a dolphin, if that makes sense. Oh crap. So there's a guy right here. And he kind of just sits there. Like, he doesn't really do anything. Kind of sits there, he kind of like homes in on you, but doesn't really do anything. And then if you hit it, it will like damage you. So it's you know, you can easily avoid them. I feel like maybe if they were a brighter color, like a red or something, I don't know, maybe instead of those things have like bombs or I don't know, something, but they just don't feel right at the moment. You got these mage looking dudes. And I'm not sure how I feel about these giant things. I'm assuming the mages are doing this, but I don't know if my projectiles can go through these. And it's kind of hard to see like what's on the other side. So maybe like, I don't know, tone down the orbs. And again, I'm assuming this mage guy is making them. But it's kind of hard to tell. Like if they're just spawning by themselves or if the mage is putting them down. And I'm dead. Let me try that again. Cool game. The camera is a little shaky though. Yeah. And this is kind of the starting area. I would also recommend, I mean, you know, I'm just nitpicking here. Everybody has a vision. But when you first walk up the steps, I feel like the placement of this thing is, I don't know, a little too soon. Like, I feel like it would make more sense if it was like in the center. You know, if there's like a little pedestal and like the weapon was just kind of sitting there. Or maybe it was like a chest and it would open up and then you would see your weapon. When this is like right here, it's like you kind of just run into it and you kind of lose the effect of it shooting up there. And a lot of times I've just ran by and I didn't even realize it dropped a gun. So for me, it just makes more sense to put it like right here on a pedestal, like maybe under this thing, maybe make this thing smaller and then, you know, have a box here, just have it like floating in an orb, something like that. Just, you know, something to make it feel like it's not just kind of stuck on, because here it feels out of place when it's right there. Again, I'm just nitpicking, you know, but I feel like it would make more sense if it was like in the center of this thing, or like just a chest, you know, some type of treasure chest, and then you see what's inside it, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm playing with this gun for this round. So you do have two different types of weapons when you start. Well, you start off with this gun, and I think it randomly will kind of put whatever in your hand when you start. But I'm gonna grab this one here. So that's the kind of spread there. There is, you got to get ammo now, which is nice. So this gun currently has 345 ammo, and then this kind of shotgun has 38 ammo. And I'm assuming you pick up like the green orbs that the enemies are dropping when they die. That's the ammunition. I'm assuming that's what it is. And the sky's a little too bright. Yeah, sky's a little too bright. But, you know, that can be tweaked. I do kind of like the open feel of the game. Because before, in previous versions of the game, it felt really claustrophobic. There might be levels like that still, but I kind of like the openness. So let's walk through here. The water also, I don't know how I feel about the water. Like, it's purple, but and like the water's poisonous. At least this water is. But, I don't know. When I think of poison, I don't really think of purple. Maybe, I don't know, maybe green or maybe red or... I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm sure that's like an easy fix. I kind of like the fact that there's like a little mini mission right now. It's like I got to hold the bridge. So I guess I got to get on top of this bridge and just stay here for a certain amount of time. And then the blue bar at the bottom of the screen, that like goes up the longer I'm on the top here. And then they're just like, whoa, there's like waves of enemies. Waves of enemies coming toward me. I kind of like the way this guy looks now. I like how he has like glowing eyes. He kind of looks like a scarecrow from like Batman. Come on. So it does damage you when you step in that water. But I kind of like how he looks. I kind of miss the fact that he doesn't throw rocks anymore, because in previous versions of the game he would like kind of stop and throw projectiles. I think this at least this particular version of this enemy, I think he just charges you and then kind of like swipes his hand. So let's retry. Let's see. But guys, give me some feedback. What do you think? Like, as you're watching this gameplay, what do you think should be added to the game? What do you think should be changed? What do you think would make the game more fun? Because I'm going to show the developer of this game. One-man team, by the way. Just one guy's done all this. So it's one guy, but I'm going to show the developer this stream, and then he can kind of go back and look at the suggestions and whatnot. But again, I feel like it would feel better if it was right here. If it was in the center. And maybe this obelisk a little smaller. And maybe a different color. That way it would like stand out better against the white sky. Like maybe, I don't know, green or something, or maybe multicolored. Not entirely sure. We're going to pick up the shotgun. And something I would also recommend is because a lot of these levels feel really big and like have really long walkways and stuff. It takes a while to get around. So I don't know. I don't know how you would feel about this, but I recommend putting a sprint button, because right now this is as fast as you can go. I mean, you might be able to get upgrades that maybe make your character run faster over time. I'm not sure if that's in the game plan, but being able to sprint with like the shift button, even for like short periods of time, I think would help a lot, because I keep going to hit the sprint button to move faster and nothing happens. So it kind of feels weird to just have one movement speed, especially because the levels are so large. Because in other areas of the game, I've like gone down pathways where it's just a dead end, and then I have to like walk all the way back. And because the levels are so big now, it takes a long way to walk back, and it just kind of kills the flow of the game. So I really think a sprint button would be very beneficial, but that's just my opinion. Also, in previous versions of the game, there was like kind of like a forward dash button. So like if you were in the air, you could kind of hit the shift button or like the run button while you're in midair, and would kind of like propel you forward a little bit. I think that would add a lot to the game. I really miss that it's not in the game currently. I don't know if there's a plan to bring that back, but I think that would add a lot, because it would just kind of add with momentum and your movement. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. Putting the kind of dash button in there and putting a sprint button in there. Again, I don't know if that's the plan, but that's just something I think would make the combat and movement feel a lot better. Because again, these are like bigger areas than previous versions of the game, and it takes a long time to get places. And it just kind of feels like, I don't know, it just feels like you need to move faster. Charge the plates. Okay, so the mission in this particular area is charge the plates. So I guess I gotta like walk on top of these. Do I gotta like stand on them, or? Because I don't know if I'm supposed to like stand on top of this. Okay, I guess I do have to stand on top. Something I would recommend if you're gonna have like plates you have to like stand on is have the color change. Like right now it's I think white. Like maybe if I walked on top, change it to green to let me know it's charging, and then if I walk off it, have it change back to white. That way you know that you're affecting something, if that makes sense. I think that would add a lot. Just like change the color when you walk on it, because it would let the player know that they're actually doing something, like the game is recognizing that they're on there and they're actually charging it up, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I would recommend for that particular type of, I guess, mission. Just like have the color change. I don't know how hard that would be to do. That's something I recommend. How many gigabytes is this? I would have to take a look, man. I'm not sure how many gigs this is at the moment. Crunchy Toast says there should be a little trader who sells potions or weapons, and enemy drops coins too. In previous versions of the game, enemies have dropped coins, I believe. If I remember correctly, they have dropped coins. And again, this is early access. He's still trying to kind of get the basic, like the bare bones of it figured out, and then he's going to like add, abilities and whatnot. But yeah, coins, some type of currency, maybe a trader. I've been playing a lot of Gunfire Reborn lately, and I know you don't want to just kind of copy and paste that game. You want to make it your own thing. And this game actually came out before Gunfire Reborn. But a lot of these like roguelike / like the randomly generated games do have like a shopkeeper or something throughout the level where you can kind of like buy potions to replenish your health, or, something, because then the coins you're picking up along the way, if you do decide to put coins when enemies die, the coins would, there'd be a reason for like killing enemies, because you could kind of like grab the coins, and then you could use the coins to farther upgrade your character, if that makes sense. So I agree, Crunchy Toast. Like some kind of trader, or a guy that sells potions or abilities, or like a guy who sells guns, I think that would come in handy. Also, I forgot to grab a different weapon, so I'm stuck with this one. I gotta click it every time I shoot, which I'm not a big fan of, because that's a lot of clicking. Makes your finger tired. I would like it if you could just hold it down. But in previous versions of the game, there were a lot of different kind of weapon variation, and each weapon had kind of like an alternate ability. So I know the developer knows how to make guns and knows how to make cool guns and like alternate abilities and stuff. So I have faith that he's gonna like make the guns better. Again, it's like very bare-boned. He's just been working on this game kind of during his weekends when he has spare time, like on his lunch break and stuff. And again, it's one developer, so this is like one guy. Better than anything I could do, but But let me see here. Let's go over here. Here's a little gun. Experimental rifle. So something with the rifle. I have got this before on some playthroughs that I did before I started streaming. I'm not sure how I feel about this like projectile, the way it looks. First off, it takes up a lot of screen real estate. Like when you're shooting a bunch of these, it's hard to see what's going on. Like if there's a lot of enemies in front of you and you're shooting all these things, it's a lot going on screen at once. Also, I don't think the projectiles move fast enough. Like they move really slow. Like if I shoot this, I can like basically walk next to it and it just feels weird. It feels weird that I can just walk next to it. It needs to have like a faster, like it needs to go faster. I think it needs to be smaller. Like if you want to put a tail on it like this, you know, that's cool, but like shrink it down like 80%. Like 80% shrink it down and then, you know, maybe have like a tail that kind of drags behind it like a comet, I guess. But yeah, shrink it down like 80% because it takes up way too much screen real estate. I just wasted all the ammo for it, but just way too much screen real estate. Also, maybe even speed up the projectile just of your normal gun because when you're shooting, it kind of feels like you're moving faster than your bullets. So when you shoot, you can't tell as much with this gun, but like when it's the like assault rifle that you can just hold down and it just constantly fires, it feels like the bullets, like, because they don't hit their target fast enough. So when you kind of strafe like this, it feels like the bullets are just kind of curving and it's a weird look. I feel like bullet speed needs to just be increased. Maybe shrink the bullets down on every gun. Like, I feel like they're too big right now. Like, I don't know, make them smaller or something. Or maybe have like the lens flare not be as bright. Because it's just when there's so many enemies on screen, it takes up, again, a lot of screen real estate. And it makes things a little bit more confusing. Crunchy Toast says ground texture should also be changed. Yeah, like he can go back and change the texture and all this, and that's probably like toward the end of development. He'll go and like make the textures better. But for now, he just kind of wants to get the level layout, that type of stuff. You know, get like the skeleton, and then, you know what I mean. So that'll come down the road. Maybe a third person mode that would be cool, but yeah. I don't know. I feel like these type of games don't really work that well with a third-person perspective. I could be wrong, but and then he would have to like take time to like make the actual character model and, you know, how the gun animates and stuff. Something I will say though is I even wanted this in like the previous version of the game is having a melee button, like being able to just walk up to an enemy and just like hit the, I don't know, like the Q button on your keyboard, and then you just do like a melee attack, like boom, like a shoulder attack, kind of like in Halo where you just walk up to somebody and like boom. I think that would add a lot. I know then you would have to like add gun animations and maybe like a shoulder button, and that takes time. But I think it would add a lot to this game because then you can, you know, you could like shoot from a distance, you know, like this, and then when you get close enough, you just boom, you know, hit an enemy and he would like fall down or fly backward. I think it would add a lot. Like just adding some type of melee. Maybe not even adding weapons that you can like run around and pick up and do melee stuff with, that would be cool too. But just having it so you could like, you know, hit people with your shoulder, you know, just shoulder hit. I think it would add a lot. I really think it would add a lot to the game. I like the Maze Runner type map. Yeah, it does kind of remind me of Maze Runner, kind of like a big maze. But let's go through here. And again, these are just suggestions. I know you got a plan for the game, man, but I'm just like spitballing here. So we got to hold the bridge. Also, like, if you're going to have missions where we're going to hold the bridge, maybe, like, have an outline of where you're supposed to be. Like, you know, maybe at the start of the stairs, like, put a blue line. And then, you know, kind of make just the top have, like, a blue, like, some area. Like a perimeter that you have to stay in. You know what I mean? Because then, like, you know, again, you'd get to the top of it. And then maybe it would be white, but if you're standing in the right spot, it changes green. And then if you go out of the spot, it changes back to white. So, you know, it would, you know where you're supposed to be, and there wouldn't be that confusion. Does that make sense? The mages look badass. Yeah, they look pretty cool. Okay, so let's jump back in here. Again, doesn't feel right there. Put it in the middle if you can. Make this thing smaller. Change the color of it. Maybe like a green crystal or something. Rocket launcher. Yeah, okay, we got the rocket launcher. This thing looks more like a shotgun, if I'm being honest. It doesn't really look like a revolver. I think that's what this is supposed to be. It looks more like a shotgun to me. But, you know. Okay, we got the rocket launcher. And let's go through the Stargate here. And, okay. Probably going to be a lot of enemies that spawn down here. So, let's do it. Okay. Again, these guys remind me of like a scarecrow, like a jack-o'-lantern or something. And then like all these little things. I don't know. It's like in previous versions of the game, they kind of look like, you know, like worms. And they still kind of look like worms, but the fact that their mouths glow now, they just kind of look kind of like decapitated arms that are just wiggling around or something. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm 100% with the design of these. Maybe if they wiggled the opposite way or something. Because they just don't feel completely right. Or maybe if they were just like maybe they rolled toward you or something. Like when you killed a particular type of enemy, it would drop like a couple of those, like a couple of spike balls or something, and the spike balls would kind of roll toward you. You know, something like that. Then maybe it wouldn't look as strange. And I know you could probably like tweak the animation of like the worm things. But, you know, just spitballing. Because like, I don't know, just... And again, I know it's very early on in development, and these will probably look better as time goes on, and move better, and kind of track the enemies, track me better, is what I'm trying to say. But, and again, the shields, like, I'm assuming those are shields, but they're just really bright. They're really bright, and, I don't know, like, maybe make them red or something, and maybe see-through, so you can actually see the enemy behind it, and it just doesn't look like there's, like, a marshmallow coming at you. Also, when you hit enemies, I don't know how hard this would be to do, but when you hit the enemy, maybe have them like flash red. You know what I mean? I think they've done similar things in like Zelda games where like if you're going up to an enemy and you're like slashing them with your sword, they'll like blink red on every hit. So maybe if you like, whenever you shot the enemy, it would like, for just a split second, like they would flash red. Because then you know that your bullets, like your projectiles, are actually making contact, you know? Because as of right now, they kind of feel bullet spongy. I would recommend, like, maybe making them twitch. Like, if you shoot them, you know, kind of make them stagger back, twitch. But if you can't do that right away, then, you know, just having them flash like a red color when you connect with them. Because then it feels like you're actually connecting and, like, doing some type of damage. Even if they're not flinching, at least you know, like, they're reacting to what's happening to them. I think it's a hand... Is it a hand cannon? I mean, you don't have arms or anything at the moment, but you should add like a Warframe shield bar so that you won't die instantly or something like that. Yeah, like kind of like, I don't know if this was in previous versions, but I think maybe he had like kind of a shield bar where like you could upgrade your shield, and then once your shield went all the way, then your health bar would kind of start dying. And I know right now he's kind of just working on getting like the bare bones finished, like getting the level design finished, the way the levels spawn, that type of thing. And then he's going to get kind of more into the nitty gritty of like, you know, enemy tracking and how the enemies react to stuff, and like power ups. Cause you can get power ups in this game that you can like use with the Q and E button. I've gotten a couple of those in previous runs where I wasn't live streaming. I haven't came across any at the moment. Oh crap. Okay, let me just take these dudes out. Are they just kind of stuck down there? I think they are. Come on, come on. Yeah, the lens flare, maybe turn that down. Because it just, a lot of bright colors. And I kind of like the way the sky looks. Like, kind of like the brightness of it. Kind of looks kind of like a dream world type thing. Kind of Maze Runner-esque, but at the same time, if the game's called Darkest Depths, I feel like, and everything's bright, it doesn't really make sense. I do like the look, but maybe like maybe turn it down. Maybe have some fog, but it's kind of too bright at the moment, I think. Like, it needs to be a little darker. And I did really push for this in a previous version of the game, but adding a flashlight, I know there's really not a reason to have a flashlight at the moment because everything's so bright, but I really did kind of like the flashlight in the previous version. Maybe if he does make a couple different game modes, maybe he could like just make the sky just black and everything would be like super dark, and then there would be like a flashlight he could add and it would be cool. But yeah, at the moment I can see why he didn't put a flashlight because everything is really bright. Let's hop down here or something like that. You should add like a Warframe shield. I think there is like a shield you can get. That is one of the power-ups I have came across. It's like a big kind of shield you can throw down. I am very low on health at the moment. Was I supposed to go? And I know in the past I recommended putting a mini map, and I got something in my eye. Eyelash. I did recommend adding a mini map. But there were reasons behind why that was difficult. I'm not entirely sure why, but I was having a really hard time with putting a mini map. Maybe like a compass or something though, some type of map, or having, I don't know, like maybe like I know in other games, maybe it was like in Skyrim, but there was like an ability you could get in Skyrim that would make kind of like a ghosty looking trail toward your next objective. So I feel like maybe have an ability or something like that where if you kill all the enemies in an area, it would kind of like make kind of like a green line that would kind of point you to where the next door was so you wouldn't get lost. Something like that. I think this is where we're supposed to be going. The thing about this game, currently, I don't think you have to actually kill all the enemies in a zone in order to walk through the door. I think right now I might have to because it's like, it says hold the bridge and I'm already dead. Okay, retry. Clairvoyance. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Clairvoyance. Yeah. Kind of like, you know, I think maybe it was in Fable too. A lot of games have it where it's kind of like you clear a room out and then we kind of like put some kind of trail and then you just kind of follow the trail to the next door. That type of thing. I don't know how hard that would be to actually put in the game. You know, I don't know. But have I got this gun before? Oh, yeah, it's this gun. See, you can kind of move faster than the bullets. It doesn't quite look right. Let's walk through the Stargate. And also, I know you're probably going to tweak this in the future, but the way the enemies spawn into the rooms, how they just kind of fall from the sky, doesn't really look great, you know. But I know you can tweak that later. It's not top of the to-do list at the moment because it works, gets the job done. But in the future, maybe have them, I don't know, already start in the game like spawned, or have them spawn from like some kind of thing. But just having them just fall from the sky doesn't look great. It kind of kills the immersion. It makes it feel like you're playing a video game, and I don't know, it just doesn't look great at the moment. But again, I know that can be changed. They should come from a cave or something. What Crunchy Toast says. Thing is, though, if they come from a cave, I guess they could kind of come from a cave. Like if there was like a hole in the wall or something, and then like different enemies ran out. As long as it's like from a distance and they're far enough away, then you couldn't like cheat the system. Because you could just like stand in front of the door and just, you know, keep shooting the door and everyone would die because they would be bottlenecked. But as long as they're like spawning far enough away, you could like see where they're coming from and you could like shoot in that direction, but it wouldn't just like, you wouldn't be overpowered and you wouldn't just kill them all. But like, yeah, like some type of door or portal where they're coming through. I think in previous versions there was something like that, like some type of like a demon gate, something like that. But again, there was a lot of different, like the game looked way different back in the day when I was making videos, but his hard drives got corrupted. He had to start from scratch. So this is kind of like the new version. And I am kind of liking the, kind of like the way it's going because I like the look. But, you know, it just needs to be refined, I think. This guy's got a plan. And, you know, I'm just giving feedback. And I'm throwing out ideas, you know. I throw ideas out left and right. And I know each idea would take time to do because this is like a one-man team. This isn't like EA or Activision, all right? This isn't Bungie freaking making Halo. This isn't like a 500-person team, a 30-person team, 10-person team. This is like one dude, all right? One guy. It takes me a long time just to make like one YouTube video, and that's like one YouTube video. All I got to do is like hit record, upload. That takes me time, right? Even editing the video takes me time. Game making is a lot more difficult than just making a video, all right? So I get that. So when I just throw out suggestions, I know this guy actually has to like create it. And again, it's one person and he's just like doing it. You know, he's working full time and he's just like doing this on his lunch break and stuff. Pizza Power Ups Mazugat says, guys, if you get a chance, check out Mazugat in the chat. He just posted a comment. He's the guy, he's my roommate. He's the guy that I always like do live streams with. He's been like streaming, trying to experiment with streaming on his channel. He's been playing, I think, Batman Arkham Knight over there. So he's got like a couple gameplay videos. He's also got like some green screen tests and stuff we've been working on in the garage. But yeah, go check out his channel. Subscribe to him if you like what you see. Should come from a cave. Okay, so let's go through here. Again, my CPU is running kind of hot still. It's like at 40%, which is definitely a lot better than it was running, because it was literally my graphics card was running at 100%, and then he like capped the frame rate at 60. Now it's running at like 40%, which is still kind of high. I think if you cap the frame rate at 30, to be honest, until you get it fixed, that would be a lot better. Just cap it at 30. I don't really think you can really tell that much of a difference between 30 and 60. That's just me. I'm sure people can, but I don't know. I think the fact that this game is still in early development, I think if you capped it at 30, people wouldn't like. They wouldn't care that much, because it would just, I don't know. I'd prefer if it was at 30, because it would make my graphics card run a lot less hot and my room wouldn't be boiling right now. But maybe it just would not look great at 30. I am already seeing some screen tearing at 60 frames a second. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but let's hop up here. We got guys up here spawning. Am I already out of ammo? Oh crap. Did I pick up a power up? Nope. Come on. Oh, crap. All right. Let me see if I can hop back up here. Nope. Back down to the bottom. Let's run back up here. If you're just popping in, guys, welcome to the stream. I am trying out Darkest Depths. It is a new kind of first-person roguelike that's still being developed. Early access, like it says in the title. So it's, you know, very early on in development. One-man development team. So this was all made by one person. But, he's obviously got talent, a lot more talent than I do. But again, like all these ideas I'm throwing out, they're going to take time. Not saying he's going to even put any of these ideas in the game. I'm just throwing out suggestions. You know, saying something will look cool in a game and actually doing it, two different things. Like it takes me 2 seconds to say something's going to look cool or he should put something. But then like a 2-second suggestion could literally take like weeks to do. So, but I'm throwing out ideas. People in the chat are throwing out ideas. Again, the shield's just way too bright. Shields look way too bright. They need to be like see-through shields so I can actually see the enemy that's behind it, or not glow at all, or like maybe like be like a regular looking shield. Maybe have like a diamond in the middle that glows slightly, you know, but just to have the whole shield glow, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I like that. And then these guys, these little dudes. Is there still? Oh, these guys. They're just looking at me. They're just looking at me. Those guys need to be, I don't know. They need to like be smaller. And like just to run at you when like, so like if you kill this, like a bad guy, right? If you kill an enemy and that enemy blows up, he spawns these little worm things. But the worm things, I guess they kind of crawl toward you. But they need to be smaller. Like they need to be smaller and there needs to be more of them. Like make them like 70% smaller. And instead of just like, I don't know, for like every one that would usually spawn, have like 2 of them spawn. Like just make them smaller. Have them like slither. Instead of like going like this, like a dolphin, have them like slither like a snake. And maybe make them longer. Again, I don't know how that would, like how long that would take, because you'd have to like remodel it and stuff. Because it just kind of looks like it's a body limb. Like, because the mouth glows. Or maybe not have the mouth glow as much. Or something. But it just kind of looks like a severed limb or something. I don't know. It doesn't really look like an enemy. But again, I'm just nitpicking here. Okay, we'll hop up here. Let's go through the star. Oh, wait. Shotgun. And again, these, I don't know. I feel like these need to be placed better. They feel out of place. They need to be like, I don't know. Like maybe in the door or something, like a pedestal by the door. Or I don't know. But it just feels out of place. Feels out of place. Okay, let's go through here. And all right. Let's man, I'm low on health. I don't know if I can actually get health. Have you guys seen health power-ups? I don't know if those are in the game yet. I know the enemies have been dropping like green things, like these things. Oh, those are health things. Okay. So like the orange looking things are health. I feel like the orbs are just kind of placeholders right now, like the glowing orbs for like ammo and health. They're just like placeholders. I could be wrong. Maybe they're going to look like that in the full version, but I feel like they need to look maybe like actual health packs, like, you know, plus signs for like, you know, like the Red Cross X type of thing. Or like look purple, or make it, oop, out of ammo. Or make it look, you know, like a potion or something. Or like, I don't know. When I think of health, I think of like either red things or pink things. I don't think of like orange things. You know what I mean? If you complete a stage, a chest with coins, potions, power-ups, or weapons inside appears. Yeah, something like that. Try it again. Try it again. Again, feels out of place. Make this smaller. Put it right here. Put it like right here. Experimental rifle. Oh man, I'm not a fan of that rifle. I guess we're gonna take it. Again, this right here, the projectile moves too slow. You shouldn't, like, if you're firing a gun, you shouldn't be able to like run along the side of the bullet. You know, it doesn't make sense. So like shrink that down by like 90%. Just shrink it. And if you're gonna have a tail on the end, like a comet flying through space, if you're gonna have like a comet tail, I don't know, like maybe just by shrinking it, it would make it look better. But yeah, and then increase the speed, because it's too much happening on screen. Like if there's bad guys here and I'm like going like this, like especially if you're running around, it just adds too much. It's too hectic. Again, my opinion. I'm not a professional game maker or anything. Never made a game in my life. Well, that's not true. I made like a really bad indie game with some like free software, like some indie game maker or something. It was bad. It was really bad. It was bad, but just like a 2D type thing. And with the enemies, I know I already suggested this, but if you can't make them flinch right now, like if that's going to take too much work, like making them flinch when they get shot and kind of stagger, like have them flash or like red. You know, if I shoot it, have it like flash just for a split second, have it flash red. So at least I know my bullets are actually connecting with the object I'm shooting. And I know that I'm like doing some type of damage. You know what I mean? Because right now they feel really bullet spongy. It's like, am I even hitting them? You know? But just having like a flash of red, like change red for a split second. I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't look great. I don't know. If there's like a bunch of people flashing red, maybe it would be distracting. But that's just a recommendation. You know? But if you make the projectile smaller, maybe it wouldn't be as big of a deal. And if you make like the lens flare less bright, maybe it'd be easier to see. Like maybe they are flinching and I just can't see it because like everything's just so blown out at the moment. Let me take these dudes out. I don't even think, how do we get to the next stage? Like, am I supposed to go somewhere? Again, a mini map would be nice. I know I've recommended that in the past. And there were a lot of reasons why he couldn't put a mini map. It just wasn't working right or something. Or it would have been a lot of work to do. But I don't know. I feel like a mini map or some type of compass or like a path that appears when you kill all the enemies to like the next door. Something. Or like, you know, like in Skyrim, how there's like that quest thing, like a little compass on the top. Like have that, so like when you move and then like point me in the direction of the door. That type of thing, I guess. Let's kill the mage there. And I know like the enemy AI is going to be tweaked, because a lot of them just kind of stand here and don't do anything. And again, like put a sprint button. Make it so your character can sprint. I don't know if in the plan, like I said, I don't know if the plan is to have power-ups to make your character faster, but just making it so you can be like 1 speed if you're walking, and then if you like hit the shift button, you'll go faster. Even if it's for like a limited amount of time and there's like a cooldown, I feel like sprint would really help, because these levels are really big, really long, and if you take a wrong turn and get to the end and realize it's a dead end, you got to walk all the way back, and it just kills the flow of the game. So I would really, really, really recommend putting a sprint, and also like a forward dash button. Like a dash button where if you're in the air, you can hit the sprint button and then it'll just kind of dash you forward just for a little bit. You know, just like a short little dash. Because that would help with like the platforming, I think. Because then you could like double jump, then do like a little dash, get on ledges. Whereas right now, like if you don't jump at the right time, you'll just fall. Whereas if you double jumped, and then even if you miss the jump or misjudged it, you have that one extra kind of dash forward that you can use. You know what I mean? Plus, that way if you fall down here and you have a sprint button, you can get out of here way faster. Like right now, this is as fast as I can go. So like if I fall off of there, it's like an automatic death, because there's no way of me getting out of here fast enough. But if you put that sprint, it would actually, you know what I'm saying? So sprint button, dash button if possible, and yeah, lens flare, turn that down. Sky brightness, turn that down. Weapon projectiles, shrink those, especially on like that purple gun. I think it was the rifle. Really shrink those down like 80%, 70, 80%. Make them faster. If you complete a stage, yeah, okay, I read that button. Also, enemies drop coins, something like that. And again, these are probably already in the game plan, because I know in the previous versions, all the enemies did drop coins, and there was like hidden boxes, hidden treasure chests and stuff. And this is one guy, guys. Remember, this is one guy. This is one guy making it. But guys, I've only just scratched the surface, because there are like a lot of cool levels. So let me just try to go a little further, because there are some really cool, big, open levels that I want to show you. I just need to get past this first little area, because there's like some big areas in this game. It's like a little treasure thing up there. I forgot to grab my other gun. Is that a door? Nope. Wait. Hit this. I don't know why it would throw me up there. And maybe also have an enemy counter. You know, something that tells you how many enemies are currently in the room, so you know how close you are to actually completing your mission. Because there could be like just a guy stuck in a corner somewhere, and you're thinking, well, like, why is it not letting me progress? And he's just stuck over there. But at least if you have like an enemy counter, like, you know, where it says enemies left, you would know how many enemies are left, and you could actually kind of look around and see where they are. Again, shields way too bright. Tweak the shields. This guy, just kind of chilling at the moment. I would like it if these guys actually threw rocks again. Or maybe have like, you know, the blue guys, they charge you, and then maybe have a red version where they throw rocks. Different sized enemies as well. Mage dudes coming in. These things just, I don't know if I like these giant orbs. I'm assuming these mage guys are spawning them. But it just gets, I don't know, when they're all on screen at once, it's like he can spawn way too many at once, and it just looks way too chaotic. Like they need to disappear faster or something. You know what I mean? Would a character voice be cool? I don't know. I mean, I guess you could add like grunts and stuff, you know, like if you're jumping, you're like a huh, huh type thing, or like if there was a melee, again, like that shoulder hit, I think a melee would really add something. Or even if you just slap the enemy with your gun, like, you know, just type of thing. I think it would add a lot. Like, I honestly think it would add a lot because then you could, like, from a distance you're shooting, plus you get up there and then boom, and then they fly backward. It would just make things feel a lot better. But the character voice, I mean, I guess you could add that toward the end, you know, just some like grunts and stuff, kind of like in Zelda, you know, Link, he does like every time he slashes his sword, it's like, huh, huh, that type of thing. That could get annoying though. So that's not a big deal at the moment. But yeah, that is, man, I really want to show you those other levels. Because there are some like really cool type looking levels. And the water looks really cool too. I just gotta get past this one like entrance because it keeps spawning me on like the same little area. Am I supposed to go that way? Like, see what I mean? Like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I don't know if I'm supposed to drop down here and there's like a door that will open, or if I'm supposed to get in that area over there. Because all these guys spawn, but you know, if I don't see where I'm supposed to be going, I mean, I guess I'm supposed to survive. So maybe there will be a portal that spawns after I kill all these guys. But if you put like, if you tell me, if you're going to do like these survival levels where you're just surviving waves of enemies or whatever, have it so it tells you what the enemy count is. Like how many enemies you have to kill and how many enemies are left, that type of thing. Otherwise, it just kind of feels repetitive. It feels like you're not even making a dent. You know what I mean? It just feels like you're killing all these guys, but then they just keep respawning. And it feels like you're not having any impact whatsoever. But if you have like a kill counter, like you have to kill this many people for the door to open, or you have this many enemies left, you actually feel like you're, like you have a goal that you're working toward. You know what I mean? Enemy growls and or scary screams. Yeah, I think some of the enemies do have some growls in them. Like they have made some sound effects. And again, super early on in development, so it's still being worked on. And like enemy sound effects, all that can be added way down the road. He's just trying to get like, you know, the main concept down, and all these textures can be tweaked and all that. But, you know, sprint button, dash button, melee combat, like just a melee punch type thing, if possible. I know that might need some work. Lens flare, turn that down. Just like where the boxes are placed looks kind of weird. But, you know, it's still playable. And this is just like the first zone. He's working on, I think, the second zone right now. And then once he gets like all the zones done, he can like, I think like they're going to be randomly put together. Like the rooms are going to be like randomly fit together. I think he's still going for that randomly generated type feel. But I am kind of, I do like the look. I like the way the game is looking. And again, just adding that sprint is going to make things look way better. I mean, feel way better because the levels are just so big. You got to have that sprint or it's going to take way too long and just going to kill the flow of the game. So anyway, guys, that is Darkest Depths, early access, early on development, made by one person, being made by one person. Those are just some of my feedbacks, some ideas. Thanks for the feedbacks, guys. Thanks for the feedback. I'll be back on maybe a little bit later playing some Call of Duty Warzone, maybe. I don't know yet. We'll see. But yeah, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Like it if you haven't. Hit the bell if you haven't. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Until next time, thank you for watching. Stay safe out there. And remember, keep calm and game on. Toodles!